So I'm over here in Buffalo looking at this boat. I'm trying to figure out two things. The first thing is, where do I put everything? So that's what I call placement. Second is, how in the heck am I going to get into this boat? So I got to figure that one out too. So I'm around the back here. It looks like the stern. Got to replace that transducer right there. That one we'll replace with the Garmin one. Okay, so let's keep moving along. So now we're going to go up the right side here, or the starboard. Looks like we're going to replace that existing Elite unit there from Lowrance with a Garmin 10-inch unit. That should replace that. Now I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the GLS module. That piece back there a moment ago was basically it's a horn not used. We're going to try to use that right there as the location for our cable coming out for the Livescope. Okay. The other boxes in the background, that's all the stuff we're going to put in the boat. We're also going to end up trying to figure out where the power goes, where the other unit, which is a bow unit, going, and how we're going to run cables and things like that. That rail you see in the background, that's where we're going to place the Brew City mount for the Livescope transducer. All right, now that we've figured out where we're going to basically place all the units and everything, we've got to figure out our power. First, we had to put a new charger in. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add an ionic 125 amp hour deep cycle battery just strictly for the electronics. This is the control panel. We have an on-off brake switch there. There's a breaker on the left, and down below we have the fuse panel. That allows us to distribute power as close to the units as possible. In the back, we added a NOCO charger single bank for the starting battery. This one didn't have one on it before. The charger that we put in the three banker in the box up front, we actually had replaced an old 2-bank charger. That charger itself had some issues with the battery terminals in the trolling motor box. I've got some pictures of that. We'll show those up. All right. Now let's move on to the mounting. Very important. What we're doing is we're replacing the old mount on the console here. That was the new balls out mount showing you. This is what happened when I started drilling through the panels. You can see how much I had to drill through to get the cables out of there and through. So this is the back look of the wiring there. You can see underneath there, I put giant fender washers under that mount, so that mount is not going to move at all. That's something you might want to think about, is what is your backing material. Okay. This is a little bit a look of how the power cables were brought up and routed through there. I put the fuses located so that he can easily pull that panel out and get to the fuses. This is the balls out mounted with the Garmin unit on it. You can see it's a little tight there between the steering wheel and the unit itself, but there's a little bit of adjustment left. And now we're looking inside there where the wires go. So I'm going to put the little console panel back on, and he should be ready to go with this balls out mounted. This thing is very, very sturdy. This is the Livescope module mounting. Yeah, it's a little crooked. It's hard to work on something when you're sitting on the floor, the head upside down. But basically all the cables are routed down, so we've got nice drip tubes. Everything's out of the way. This box is completely enclosed for him. And he's also got good access to everything that he needs. And again, a short power run from the battery on the other side of the boat. So we should be pretty good there. Okay. And so this is our Brew City mount. It mounts on the current rail track. There's a little pull pin there. You can adjust it in and out. There's a lever on the side. Simply to use it, you just flip up the handle, rotate it back and forth. It's a fairly simple mount. This is before I put the cables on, and we'll show you what it looks like in the final piece there. Last part of the process is probably the most important. We got to power everything up, and we're going to test it. And during that testing, what we're going to do is we're going to run our updates, and then we're going to make sure the configuration is correct. So we'll get the unit powered up here, and then we're running the updates. Nice thing about the Garmin is that we put the update chip in one unit, and all the units on the network get done. Well, here we go. All done finally. I'll go outside in a moment and see the transducers. But back here I put in a NOCO charger. Okay. Okay, see that way down in the hole there. I fixed one of the bilge wires. Unfortunately, that was disconnected. This is the Garmin on the console, which is a 10-inch unit. It's an Echo Map Ultra. Under the console, completely hidden, is the excuse me. This is where I put the Livescope module. Okay, I don't know if you probably can't see that. I think I'll slice in the other stuff from that. So that's where that lives. Okay. On the bow, we've got the panoptics coming out here. And you can see I got the spare cable so he can run it to his back rail back here. That way he's got plenty of cable, and it's on this little cover. Hopefully that's pretty waterproof for him. This is a Brew City mount. So you basically just run it like that, and the transducer's mounted on the bottom of that just like that. I'll give you a shot in a moment from the outside of the boat. So you adjust it that way. It's a pretty nice little mount. This is the 9-inch bow unit. I've got the 9-inch networked to the 10, which is also networked to the Livescope module. Okay, so we come over here in this battery box, which is now called a battery box because there is a battery here. That's where the electronics battery is stored. The charger's in the back there, hard to see. I've got other video, I'll do that. And on this side, we've got the control panel for the electronics, which is includes a cutoff switch and a circuit breaker and fuse block. So, all right. So we're gonna go do the outside of the boat. Okay. Not much has changed over here. So we'll come around the back, and you'll see we have a new Garmin. It's a GT54 transducer here, mounted on the stern. Okay, so there it is, ready to go. Basically, I replaced the previous one. Use new covers and stuff, all tied into the engine way there. And so all the rigging tube, and wasn't too bad to run it. So here's the other side of it. So now we've got the new console unit up there. It just barely clears the steering wheel, but he's got just enough space. Got another way to rotate that a little further, but we have to change the nuts on it. So we've got everything cleaned up back there. You can see the webbing. Try to make it a nice clean insulation. That's a nice that's a balls out mount. Thing is very rugged, heavy duty, which since he runs Lake Erie, should work out pretty good for him. There's that mount, the cover I was showing you for the Livescope cable, and here's the Brew City mount all the way down to the Livescope. And you can see all you do is it's just a hand rotated. I've got it set in forward mode. And basically a little while ago I just took and updated all the units at one time, which is kind of handy on the Garmin, and everything's current updates as of last month. So alright, thanks. I appreciate you guys watching this. Please like and subscribe the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.